Hello, everybody. I am so excited. This is officially the launch of my YouTube channel. Welcome to Elevate. And just a little bit about myself. I am Robin Shalia Grant. Some people just call me Shalia, but I'm all of those things. So I actually have a background in music as well as education and life insurance. So I'm a multifaceted person like many of us are. The focus of this page is all about evolution and elevating in whatever industry that you're in when it comes to us taking the ideas out of our mind and creating something worthwhile with it. So we're talking about business, creativity, building, and empowerment, and especially those who have chose to go into the life insurance industry. And I happen to specialize in final expense coverage. I work with one carrier. So the name of my agency is Elevate Agency, and I partner with one carrier, and we do specialize and focus on final expense coverage. However, I'm able to help people from different walks of life with different types of life insurance. And so tonight I chose to speak about a topic that is somewhat taboo, but it's very important and it's something that we just really need to dive into when it comes to us being empowered in business and being empowered in our lives, living a life of abundance and wanting to do better, strive more, and accomplish our goals. We have to address some of those things that are holding us back. And so tonight I'm going to talk about from addiction to empowerment. Now, addiction, ooh, a little bit of a scary word. Addiction. A lot of times when we hear that word, we think about something specific. Like you might think of an extreme drug addiction. We might think about hard drugs like opioids, heroin, crack cocaine, just things that are known to be like hard addictions, alcoholism, tough to break. Yes, we're talking about those types of addictions, but I mean the whole gambit. We can have food addictions. We can be addicted to work. We can be addicted to certain substances that are illegal. You have prescription drug addictions. We have social media scrolling addictions, just minutes and hours and days. Sometimes people just spend on social media, just binging out on it. So addiction can come in many forms. Now, we might look at some addictions as if they are healthy, like if you have an addiction to going to the gym and working out. Depending on how that looks, that could be seen as more of a healthy addiction. But the point is that most of us have dealt with it in one way or another. And oftentimes it can be holding us back from where we really want to go. And you might be thinking, well, what makes you the expert on a topic like this? Well, let me just say, I just gave you a bit of my background, the different industries that I've worked in or currently still using my creative gifts in. But I will tell you this from the life insurance space, I was able to help over 300 families last year. I issued over $300,000 in annual premium. So the numbers and the work speaks for itself. I've helped a lot of families put protection in place and leave a legacy behind and help to take that burden off their loved ones for when that day does come. So, with that said, I want to dive into the topic a little bit more, actually, a lot of bit more. So, some of the key topics here that are surrounding addiction, from addiction to empowerment. Number one, we have to be able to rise above and be honest and be aware of what's going on. Like I said, addiction looks different in whatever life you are living. So you might have an addiction to carbs late at night. You might get up in the middle of the night and just go raid the refrigerator, and it's a consistent thing. I would say that has been a habit forming behavior, and that is addiction. You might not want to admit it, but it's true. I mean, do you have to have 5 cups of coffee every day? That could be an addiction. Do you start scrolling and you look up and it's 2 or 3 hours later and you say, wow, where did the time go? An addiction. And of course, we have the substances that we can be addicted to. I'll tell you one that's pretty much accepted in society overall. alcohol, right? So alcohol, you might just take a sip to, take the edge off. You might just take a sip every now and then. Every now and then is certainly not an addiction, but sometimes we can find ourselves consistently drinking to the point to where it's like, hey, are you able? You have to question yourself. Am I able to function? Can I go to a social gathering without drinking? You have to really question the things that we are putting in our bodies or the things that we're habitually using our time towards to determine, okay, is this getting me closer to my goals or getting me away from transforming into the person that I desire to be? Let's say you've already reached a certain level of success, but you want to be able to maintain it. And to be able to maintain it, you have to be able to stay firm and grounded in what you know, but also adjust to the times. Every industry goes through adjustments and changes. Families go through adjustments and changes. We go through it in our own bodies, in our own lives. So you have to be able to keep up with that. So it's still important to address those habits. And of course, if you want to go to a whole nother level, whether that's in your finances, emotions, family, physical, our health, we have to be ready and willing to take things to a whole nother level. And oftentimes what's holding us back is those bad habits. So I want you to put in the comment section, what habit or addiction have you been able to get over? So I'll share one with you. For myself, I want to be transparent because it's really, really important to be transparent, not only with yourself, but if you have the strength and the courage to also be transparent with other people. Because when you do that with the right people, they can be empathetic. I know I'm putting myself out here on the internet, on the interwebs, but that's okay. I can handle it because I've overcome it by the grace of the Almighty. So I can tell you that for years, I did not drink any alcohol at all. And I chose to do it for my health. I had some things that I wanted to address. I was dealing with just some major skin issues. And I knew that it was connected to my gut health and I needed to correct things from the inside out. So I took on a alkaline lifestyle, which means I removed almost all the acidity from my life. So not 100%, but a lot of it. And so that looked like a major transformation. So one of the things I removed was alcohol. Now, with that said, I did that for about 7 years. And then I came to a point to where I was like, you know what? I think I could drink red wine. I could have some wine. There's some benefits there. And I found that I, made those concessions for wine. But then over time, over many social events, I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia right now. And people, when you go out, when you're amongst friends or networking, it's just always something to do, baby. People like to offer shots and I would just have to be blocking the shots. But eventually, I did try a few mixed drinks. I went to a resort in Cabo. Everything was, it's 5-star, all included. I was like, all right, I'll take a few of those drinks. And so I found that, hey, I set a boundary for just wine, just one glass when I drank. And I found over, the course of a few years that I had loosened up my own restrictions for myself or my own standards, my own boundaries. They started to loosen. And so I said, even though I don't feel like I have a problem, this does seem to be a bit of a habit. I'm seeing a habit forming, and this could be an addiction, even though I don't think it's alcoholism. So I personally looked into different things that I could do to just help me. So this gets us into the being real with yourself, having the awareness, and then finding tools that can assist. You know what you're going through. What I found was, so here's some practical tips to help you with overcoming addiction. All right. And I'll share what helped me. You can join a support group. There are many support groups for several things. If alcohol is one of those things that you're working through, of course, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's Narcotics Anonymous, and there is no shame in getting help. You can also utilize mobile apps. Oh, by the way, I do have a counselor. I won't say her name, but she's an amazing doctor and she just keeps it 1,000 with me. And also mobile apps. One that I use that helped me a lot was an app called Reframe. Again, it's called Reframe. It helped me tremendously. After learning so much, because at first I was like, I'll just cut back on the drinking. But after I consistently did the exercises in the app, eventually I was like, you know what? I'm not drinking anymore. I will never say never. There's a time in my life in the future that, hey, maybe I will have a celebratory glass of wine at some point. Maybe something amazing has happened, or, join in the champagne toast at a friend's wedding, or, something like that. But I have not had a drink in maybe 6 months, something like that. So it's been a while, and I like how I feel. I plan to continue this journey. Also, there are national helplines that you can call. If you're struggling with any type of substance abuse or mental health, and you just need some services or support, you can call 1-800-662-HELP, which is the same as 1-800-662-4357. There is absolutely no shame in admitting that you need help. Something you can also do is set achievable goals. You can make them small and manageable. Like for me, at first I said, okay, all right, let me just start with no drinks for 30 days. And it just kept going from there until eventually I took on a larger goal. But do what's right for you. Also, you can practice self care. Practicing self care looks like meditating, and meditating, it is not a pie in the sky, you know, thing that just seems unattainable. I promise it's not. Meditation can be as simple as you just sitting quietly, turn off everything. Some people like to meditate with a candle or to certain sounds. There's a variety of what you can do, but the point is to just center yourself, meaning go into yourself, quiet down the noise, listen to your own thoughts, and just be with yourself. Work through your own thoughts. And if you don't have any thoughts, which is another form of meditation, we won't go too far into that. Well, everybody has thoughts, but if you reach the point where you've been able to stop the mind, that's an incredible feat, because the mind is consistently going. So you need that time with yourself. Anyway, for those of you who are people of faith and you pray, absolutely, that's a huge tool. So, meditation, prayer, journaling, writing out your thoughts, writing what's coming to you, writing your plans, writing your goals. There is power in writing things down, or if you just type it out. But the point is, get it out, right? And of course, physical activity, movement, exercise, unmatched. It's huge. If you are physically able to move, you're fortunate, and you need to take advantage of that. Also, inspire others by being open and honest in spaces where you can do that. By you sharing your story, you never know who you are able to uplift and inspire and show them that they can do the same thing. When you inspire others, also you help to foster a supportive community. So it's an amazing thing when you're able to do that. You can be a beacon of hope and light for others. Also, those of you who are in the industry, life insurance industry specifically, it helps to craft your own personal brand. You can talk about how you were able to overcome something, change your habits for more positive and healthy habits. People really respect you for that, and they see that you've been able to transform, and they'd be willing to hear you out even more because you become that much more relatable. All right, and then of course, practical steps to success. You can either, like I said, join a group or have a counselor or use an app. Have something. We even have ChatGPT or AI that can help us with these things as well. Come up with a customizable plan for you, but just put some sort of plan in place for yourself, some actionable steps to help you. And then you want to commit to it, commit to it, commit to it, commit to it. Also, when you make those goals for yourself, make sure it's clear, and it's great to have an accountability partner. So that's why those support groups can be great. Even if you don't want to go as far as to join a support group, I'm sure or hopefully you have somebody in your life that you can trust, even if you just have to speak it into the universe. But say and make a declarative statement so that someone can hold you accountable. I do hope and pray that you do have someone in your life that you can say it to, that they can help hold you accountable to your goal and what you're going for, to allow yourself to let go of the addiction, the poor habit, to move into something that's more constructive to get you closer to your goal. Now, I'm aware that in certain spaces, in certain industries, I won't call them out right now, but they are known for people using substances in an addictive way in order to reach certain levels of cognitive creativity and use of the mind and like I said, creativity. But I just want to encourage you to know that we are infinite beings and we have access to infinite creativity, and that we actually don't have to be under the influence of a substance in order to bring that out. And I know that there's been a narrative, like I said, in different industries throughout time, telling people that, hey, this is what you need to do in order to be your best self, in order to stay focused so that you can do the work, or so that you can open up your mind in a creative way, or so you can reach um, new heights of mental stimulation and just open your mind. And it makes me think of like LSD trips and that kind of thing. By the way, I have no shade to that. I say don't become addicted. And if you have become addicted to whatever it is, there's light on the other side, there's hope on the other side. You can do it. And you are able to be successful in whatever it is you want to do without having to rely on a substance. I promise you it is possible. So I would love to hear in the comment section, what is it that you've been able to overcome, no matter how small you think it is or how large you think it is. Let us know what you overcame and how you did it. You never know who else you can inspire. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and like, because we'll have much more content where it's all about empowering, growing, elevating our lives. And we'll have some things that are special for people who want to enter into the life insurance space, as someone who can help put plans in place to help others. So those of you who are interested in possibly working together, or if you need life insurance, anything like that, you can contact me. All of my contact details will be in the description. But again, this is where you'll come for empowerment, lessons. And what I do is I combine life experience, education with things that can help us grow as people, evolve. And then I'll also um, package it for those who are also life insurance agents, or those who are interested in becoming an agent. Once again, I am Robin Shalia Grant. Don't forget to subscribe and like this, and make sure you hit that notification button as well. Until next week, I'll see you. Thank you so much for being here.